Douglas Holtz-Eakin, an uncanny read of numbers and money that goes in, and unfortunately far more going out. He's the former Congressional Budget Office Director, American Action Forum President. Doug, I jest, but to make a pretty serious and sobering point. It's easy to point fingers at the Fed, I get that, but they're pretty much the only game in town trying to deal with this. The spending on Capitol Hill hasn't helped matters any. The bickering back and forth to address long-term entitlement reform isn't materializing, so it's up to those guys. What do you think?
It's absolutely true. The Fed is in this alone, and actually Chairman Powell said so when he talked, at Jackson Hole in August. He said, we own this. We have a mandate to produce price stability and full employment, so we're going to do it. So get ready, and here's the game plan. But Congress and the administration aren't helping. I mean, we hear a lot of talk about Inflation Reduction Acts, but while they're doing that, they're spending another $1 trillion somewhere else, all borrowed. The administration forgives student loans, another $500 billion. They're lighting more fires as fast as the Fed could think about putting them out.
You know what's so wild about it? You and I have gotten into this before. We're so focused on the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, as we should be. That's no small matter. But we don't look at what their balance sheet pressures are. They're trying to unload a lot of these mortgage-backed securities, Treasury securities, municipal securities, lots of securities. And unfortunately, as they're shoveling that stuff out the door, trying to, more money and bills and expenses are coming in, trillions of dollars, courtesy new spending. So it's like they're trying to deal with this in the middle of a financial and spending hurricane. Good luck.
Yeah, no, and this is a really a tough thing to pull off. I have a lot of sympathy for the Fed. They're under a lot of criticism because it hasn't worked yet. Well, they had the foot on the gas for 2 years, and now they've taken their foot off the gas, but they have yet to pump the brakes. Let's remember, interest rates are still negative. Take whatever your favorite measure of inflation is, and we still don't have positive real interest rates. So we haven't gotten to neutral. And after they get to neutral, they've promised to get into the restrictive range. So it's coming. There's no question about that. And it's trying to do this in a deliberate and well-telegraphed fashion in the middle of, as you said, an enormous amount of uncertainty. You've got China, you got Ukraine, you have what's left of the pandemic, and you have the Congress and administration. That's a tough place to be doing business right now. And I think the Fed's really kind of struggling to stick to its plan and be effective in the midst of all this.
You know what people lose sight of, and you, thank God, have reminded folks, Doug, even if you do nothing, spending is increasing at a far faster clip right now because the cost of carrying that debt keeps going up. We're just past 31 trillion, a combination of all those deficits, all those years. And we've raised interest rates from essentially zero, not across the entire spectrum, but from 0 to 4% or thereabouts. And that's adding, over time, hundreds of billions of dollars to the debt without addressing spending at all.
1 percentage point increase in interest rates is $1 trillion in additional spending over 10 years.
Wow.
So, we're seeing the bill go up fast. And this is the price you pay for borrowing so much in the past. You've got a big debt load out there. You have to service it. As you go to refinance it, it's more and more and more expensive. Unless you get a grip on the things that Chad was talking about, the 70% of spending that is entitlements, you're going to have an enormous amount of trouble making it all add up. And those entitlement bills are coming due. The Medicare Trust Fund runs out of money within 5 years, Social Security within 10. These are programs that Americans value that are not financially fit and are now starting to threaten the economy itself. It's time to get serious about this. I mean, I know everyone always says that. I know I always say that. No one ever does anything. But the numbers aren't adding up, Neil, and they're getting closer. And the next Congresses have to look at this problem differently. They have to look at these numbers as a threat to their job, not the way they keep their job.
Very well put. That's very well put. Doug, always good seeing you, even with these dire warnings. But we need to be told they're real. The numbers do not add up. Douglas Holtz-Eakin.